everyone. Welcome
Hello.
to podcast. I am your host, Grace, and my amazing co-host, Kim. Guys, you'll see it's just the two of us, the originals, okay? As you guys know, the Life Happens podcast is a podcast where we take our spirituality, we combine it with everyday practical things to create this beautiful balance you see before you today. So, our topic today is about divorce, but before we get into it, Kim, hey girl, hey, how was
Hey.
your weekend, etc., etc. How was it treating you? Have you been up to? What's your plan? Spit it out.
Getting ready for Thanksgiving next week. So I got all my stuff for my pies. I'm making like 8 different pies and a cake. I've never made this cake before, so I'm really excited about it. Trying some apple tarts this year, which are, cross your fingers, they come out good. Be my first time making them. So I'm very excited. I do all the pies, all the cakes, and my husband does all the food.
Oh yeah,
So we
yeah.
have a system. So
Hey Veronica.
hey, so Wednesday I will be
So
like flour everywhere, sugar everywhere, making pies and cakes and all
mhm.
the goodness, all the yummy stuff. So
This
I'm
sounds.
excited. Got all my stuff today.
Oh dang, that's quick. So that's actually pretty fast.
I
I mean,
know. I'm excited.
so what we normally do for Thanksgiving is that we do a South African foods and American foods because my brother and I, our kids are born here. And plus, we want to teach them our stuff. So we have biryani and butter chicken and all the Indian foods. And then we have turkey. And we don't have dressing because nobody knows how to make dressing. But we have other stuff. So we're going to have some people over to.
I can make dressing. You should like hit me up. I'll send you my recipe.
You know what? I supposed to have learned it, but I have not learned it. And then I don't know how to make cornbread so well. This past summer, I was trying to learn to make American soul food, and I did pretty good, I think, but it's not my thing. I mean, if I married a soul food man, I would,
I love soul food.
I would, yeah, I would try.
But
Hey,
Robbie, I want to learn how to make chicken masala.
no, that's so easy.
Is it? Send me a recipe. I want to learn how to make it.
See, I have the spices, but the problem is I don't know. I can't tell you put 1 teaspoon, 2 teaspoon, 3 teaspoon.
Oh my goodness, you're that kind of cook.
Yeah, I just measure until I can hear my grandmother say, "Stop it! Don't do it anymore." And that's how it really is. Okay. Um. So I can learn a little bit, but I don't know. Yeah. So today, y'all, let me tell you what happened today. So I go to 7-Eleven. CJ, hold on, you from thing, right? Louisiana. So you're dressing like an extra seasoning or something? I don't know.
I make dressing, really good dressing.
Hi, Wayne. I can teach you to a few dishes. That sounds like a good idea. So I went to 7-Eleven and I was telling Kim before this today, I almost got robbed. Well, I'm being dramatic. But what happened was I had gone to, well, I wanted, I don't know if any of you had this drink called Refresher. It's a 7-Eleven brand. I like it because I like guava flavored anything, right? So anyway, I go and I get some gummy bears and some, those Cheeto fries that said $2 on the bag, right?
Hmm.
He's checking me out, he's reading me out, whatever. And then I looked at it and I was like, wait a minute, this is supposed to be 3.19, but it says 3.49.
Hmm.
I said, huh. Then I look at the chips, y'all. The chip says 2.49. I said, sir. And mind you, he's East African and he doesn't know that I'm African. Okay. Let me tell you what happened. So I said, sir, the gummy bears are ringing up 3.49, but it's supposed to be 3.19. He says, don't worry, the sign is wrong. So I said, but all the candy says that. So you're telling me that that's wrong, everything's 3.49. He says, yes. I said, well, I need you to honor the price. Because I could tell now his energy was getting high, and I was like, okay, now, sir. Then I said, okay, why is the chips 2.49 and not $2? And that's when I started getting upset, right? So basically,
What's up, B?
What's going on, Kim?
he was a thief, okay? And I was
Who,
respectful.
who is the thief? You're a thief?
No, the
Oh,
guy,
you gotta tell the story again.
No, you mean in the scenario? I read the scenario.
No. This is what happened to her today.
No, I was telling about the 7-Eleven dilemma.
What happened?
I was very respectful.
You probably cussed out somebody.
No, actually, I don't cuss anymore.
Yeah, that's a lie.
Anyway, Brian.
I thought so.
Basically, I told my brother, right? So this evening, and he knows a guy that works in corporate in 7-Eleven. So I'm reporting him. My kid says, Mom, don't be a Karen. I said, my name is Karina, and I'm reporting him. Okay. So, because I think it's not right. That means like they just hiking up prices to whatever it wants to be. And that's dishonest. And it pissed me off. I could have cussed, but I didn't.
You did. You probably did.
Did your South African accent get a little deeper when you were talking to him?
I don't think so. I think I managed well.
No. She is fronting for this podcast.
You acting like you know you were on the phone or you were there. Were you there, Brian?
Probably. I have X-Men powers, and you are fronting for this podcast. You got corporate involved. You cussed. Your South African accent got thick, and yeah.
You acting like you know me, Brian. You don't know nothing.
And you wanted to say the F word probably. You was like F these prices.
Anyway, CJ says, LOL, dang, is it that bad you're going to get corporate involved? I absolutely am getting corporate involved because I didn't like the way his energy was and you wanted to get loud and, sir, you could have honored the price and I could have said, it's a mistake. But I think he does that all the time. And I've been to that 7-Eleven before, so I probably was robbed a couple times. And so I'm going to go back tomorrow. I wanted to go back today, but I was like, nah, it was too hot. So I'm going to go back tomorrow and I'm going to go get some more gummies and see how much they bring up.
Why are you going back if you got robbed? What did you get robbed for, like $10?
No, it was for $1, but that's not the price. No, it's the principle of it.
I'm sure it is. I'm not. But you was looking for an excuse to cuss somebody out.
Bye, Brian. I'm gonna take you out of the room. Okay, so our topic today is divorce, right? Okay, CJ, you don't want to let it go. Just go to a different store. So that means if 50 people come into the store, that means he's overcharging 50 people $100. I'm sorry, that is unacceptable. Because the way his body language, his mannerisms, and his energy, no, sir. And you're making us foreigners look bad. You're not going to do that. I am reporting your behind.
Good. I think it's great. More people should do that instead of just walking away and, getting gypped for 50 cents to $1.
Yeah.
It's not right.
And then, I'm reporting him. I told my brother already, and he's on the job. So there you go.
Good.
So anyway, guys, our topic is divorce, right? Kim, I know you've been happily married since forever. Okay.
25 years.
But
I am a child of divorce, so yes.
Oh yeah, that's true. CJ says, CJ, I'm gonna block you, sir, because you trying. CJ, I thought we were cool. Okay, so I was this week I was thinking about relationships anyway, and I thought it's a great topic, I think, because I was looking at my brother and his wife, and I like how they look at each other, how my brother looks at his wife, and they like each other. See, people think, we meet somebody and it's supposed to be all this, well, you should be attracted, but you meet somebody and you're all in love and stuff like that, but you don't like the person, and I think that's so important to like somebody. And great relationships don't just fall in people's laps. You have to work at it. It has to be curated. It has to be intentional. It has to be on purpose, not like it just doesn't magically happen. Okay. So I'm going to read something I wrote. Okay. Great relationships don't just drop into people's laps. Relationships take work, but they also can be fun and easy too. Although there's a beautiful rhythm you feel when you meet your match, but there's also heavy lifting. So you have this balance, the balance we always talk about, the heavy lifting and then the joy and the enjoying the fruits of the work that you put in this relationship. And that's what I see with my my brother and his wife. Great relationships are curated, carefully chosen, and thoughtfully orchestrated. That's what I believe. So my children are a product of divorce, but I'm not a product of divorce. I never thought that I would be in a space. I never thought at this age, y'all, that I would be out here. Never thought that. I thought I would be settled by land in the country, wanna, fish, not fish, I'm like, grow my own garden, you know, but I didn't think I have to be dating again. So it really sucks. So Brian, what are your thoughts about marriage? I know you haven't been married, but
About marriage or about divorce?
divorce and marriage and partnership.
That's right, CJ.
I've been married for 50 years. Have a tell it. Yeah.
Well, I mean, there can be a lot of complications with this question, but I'll try to keep it simple. So it's it's what you practice. If you are a person who is purposely dating, intentionally dating, you're trying to find someone who matches with you or that you're working with to get into a relationship, maybe and try to work on some type of marriage. What are you practicing prior to, right? Like me, I wanted to be a better bowler. So how did I become a better bowler? I'm 10 times better than I was 3 months ago, right? And I didn't just pick up a ball and just start rolling on my own out of my own from my own understanding. I mean, that's what the Bible says. Don't lean on your own understanding. Correct. So if I don't know how to bowl, what do I need to go do? I need to go look up instructional videos. I need to get the foundation right. I need to go get a coach. I need to do this. So I'm practicing the fundamentals and the basics of bowling. So when if I join a league or something like that, I won't be I may be a novice at being in the league, but I'm not going to be a novice to bowling. I'm going to know what to do. I'm going to know how to pick up a spare. I'm going to know how to change the spin on the ball if there's a fast lane or if the lanes are slow or things like that. So I'm practicing becoming a better bowler. Do people practice becoming a better person that leads to being a better husband or leads to being a better wife? Do they practice compromising? Do they practice listening to other people, and not just in a relationship, but if I have a different opinion with other people, do I practice comprehending where they're coming from, or am I practicing listening to respond? Right? Because whatever I'm practicing outside of myself, I'm going outside of a relationship. It's what I'm going to bring into a relationship. So a lot of this stuff, a lot of all this trial and error and all this stuff about relationships where people talk about it's so hard, it's so this or so that, normally you know exactly what you're walking into. And then once you get into it, you're not willing to change and you haven't practiced being a better person. A lot of people want to just be accepted for who they are, right? They just want to be accepted for who they are, and then they go, "Oh, well, you accept me for me because that's how I am. That's how I am. That's how whoop to whoop to whoop." And then the other person, if they're the same way, or let's just say they're the opposite. Let's just say they're the person trying to evolve and change and get better, and they're practicing on being a better person or a better husband or a better wife, and they're matched with this person that says, "Well, you just got to accept me for me." It's not going to work. And that's where all the problems come in at. You know what I'm saying? So it's not as hard as people think. And I want people to get that out of their mind. It's not as hard as people think. It's what you practice prior to that makes things a lot smoother. I'm not saying hardships will come, but you're going to battle those hardships a lot easier if you have knowledge of war prior to. If you don't have any knowledge of war, then you're screwed when the war comes. You're going to lose way more than you win. And if you hang in there long enough, yeah, you might win a battle or two, but you're going to be so beaten before the war is over that you're probably going to get out of it, right? But if you're knowledgeable about war before you go into it, even if you lose a battle, you might not lose as many battles as you should, or you might win the entire war if you're knowledgeable about it prior to.
You know what, though? I agree with what you're saying, right? And I could say that at this part of my life, I would approach it with the things that you're saying.
Yeah.
This age and this, experience that I had, I got into marriage for the absolute wrong reasons, right?
Yeah.
And so I think that people should not get married before 25, actually. Actually, they should get married by 30. Because I think enlightenment, maybe 35, I was better,
Well, even if the age doesn't necessarily bring maturity, right? So a lot of the ways that I'm thinking now is I was thinking this way at 22, 23, 24. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like my player stage was small. It was literally like a 2, 3 month window. It was really small, right?
Mm.
So I didn't have no big run. There's no player, no pimp. Like a lot of the way that I think now is an evolved way that I was already thinking. But here's the thing for what you said. The, people keep making the same mistake. You said, "Well, I got into marriage when I was young,
Oh,
giving myself grace because I didn't have the knowledge that I have now. But now that you have that knowledge, you're going to treat the next situation a little bit different or totally opposite of the way that didn't work prior to. The problem is people just keep putting themselves in the same situation over and over again. They keep searching for the same person in a different body. They keep trying to they're not trying to change, and they want someone to accept their full trauma, their full projection of BS, or
yeah.
who they are and all that stuff, and they keep running into the same situations over and over again because they're not changing anything.
Well,
So
I think
CJ,
you
because
get.
Brian's always dropping knowledge. He's eyes. He's eyes.
I
Appreciate you, CJ.
I think that people get into
And
relationships with really good intentions. I do. I don't think people get into a relationship, a marriage, thinking that, oh, this may fail, or they get into they get into them with these really great intentions
yes,
and ideals about both of them coming together and how they want the marriage to work. I just think that marriage is not easy.
no,
Marriage is not. And I hate when people say that marriage is like, man, if you could just understand this person and just maybe compromise here and love and do it's so many mixed things going in because you have this person who you're intimate with all the time, right? So this person that you have this intimacy with, this is a person who is coming at you this way or that way. And it just, I don't know. Marriage is hard. It's not as easy as you think. You can go
CJ,
into it with the best intentions. You can go into it thinking that you know war. You can think into it that you know how to treat a lady or how that, and then things will come up. And guess what? When those things come, it's like, whoa, I didn't even know I had that in me. Or whoa, I didn't know you had that in you. You know what
yeah,
I'm saying? And then you have to work through that crap. You just have
but
to work
Yeah,
through it.
you do. But if it would, I'm sorry. Go, Robbie.
getting into relationships though, it's a mirror. It'll show you where you need to tweak and where you need to change, where you need to step.
Yeah, that's it. That's that. So Kim, I don't know where your circle of people is who are and who they are, but they must be some really good people because the mass majority of people don't get into marriages with good intentions. There's a saying that said people want to be valued by their intentions rather than their actions. And people get into marriages for all the wrong reasons all the time. That's why divorces happen regularly. And they get
Divorce
into
is
marriage.
happening because divorce is so easy. That's
It
why
is.
people
Okay,
don't want to do the hard work. No one wants to
but
do
hold,
the hard work.
the number one and number two highest reasons for divorce is a difference of money and infidelity, right?
Yes.
Odds are you knew that prior to it, and put it like any podcast I've been on. I'm not sure. I can't say all of them because y'all do podcasts where I'm not on. But any podcast I've been on, all the scenarios that we've had, they have a common denominator. The problem inside the marriage was happening in the relationship prior to.
Absolutely.
And the people should have left before the marriage even happened. People get married for relevancy. They get married because they're hanging around friends who are married and they're the only ones who aren't married. They get married, try to trap people. They get married, try to work out a financial system. They get married because they don't want to be alone. There are more people who are getting married because of BS reasons than more people are getting married with good intentions.
I
Because
don't believe that. I can't
oh
believe
yeah, yeah, you
I
The
can't believe
marriage
that.
you have the rate of divorce is proof of that.
Well,
Because
the
if
divorce is because people do not want to go through the hard stuff. Because in marriages, believe it or not, you're going to have hills and valleys and all that other crap in between. But you
yeah,
know
and
what?
if they well, they
Some
don't want
people
to go
don't
through
want
the
to do the hard stuff. They're like, hey,
oh,
I'd rather be sad by myself, or however that saying goes, instead of going through the hard things. Now, I'm not talking about like, abuse or anything like that. When I say the hard thing, I mean, if there's a
Yeah.
money issue, working through the money issue.
Okay. So, but then,
But some women do work through infidelity.
okay. But see, that's bull. That's all. If you're calling infidelity, so let's just say you call infidelity work through the hard stuff. Well, then I'm going to get a divorce from the wife who cheats on me.
The hard stuff.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. But no matter what, no matter what people get divorced for, it's proven that it was happening in the relationship and it didn't get settled. Because here's what people think about marriage. People think the I do's correct what's going wrong in the relationship. They think that standing in front of an altar, in front of a preacher, and saying I do is going to change what's wrong in the relationship. And it doesn't. It only magnifies it. It only magnifies the problem.
But some people look at it and say, you know what? I know you're not perfect. I understand that. And I know that you have flaws and I have flaws, but I want to be married. I know people like that who understand that that person is not perfect. And that person may come with some baggage. And that person.
That's fine. That's fine. Baggage is fine.
They're still married to this day and they're working through it.
No,
yeah.
What the non-negotiables are. You have to have a list of non-negotiables. You have to know what the hell you want.
Yeah.
It's not gonna fly. But people don't. Yeah. Why people, especially people in ministry, well, they don't want to have sex because they want to be celibate, right? So some people get married because their flesh is burning. I'm not getting married. I'd rather repent. I'm sorry. Yeah, I said it. I would rather repent than get married because I want to have sex. But that is the real thing. I've heard women say that.
It is. It is.
Because your flesh is burning. That is crap.
Now, see, I don't know nobody like that. So.
Ryan, CJ got you to hear. So I need to read these 2 comments. You have to see this stuff. Ryan, my tea lady with a man. Are you willing to date her?
No, I'm not laughing at you, T. Jones. CJ, I'm tripping. I'm not.
He said you could be his uncle.
Yes, he said I'm gonna send you a pic of my tea lady. Looks like she's tired of these ninjas running around South Dallas. She needs a good man like you. She's tired of taking it to Williams Chicken.
Damn, they taking it to Williams.
Okay. Hey, now you're getting a little too turned. You need some drinks or something? No, we got coffee and tea.
Hey, that's why I'm saying, Kim, I think that the people that you hang around are people that are relatable to you, and because you're a good person. You are a good person. And I think that you choose good people to hang around, and but that is not how it happens out here. There are so many people who get married, the mass majority of people, and I'm saying well over 60%. They get married for the most. I posted this one day, and you should have seen the reaction. I said, if some of y'all prepared to stay faithful in a relationship like you prepared those wedding photos for the likes that you wanted, your marriage would be a whole lot better. Right? Because people love the relevancy. They really love the relevancy. They love the look at my pictures. And it's kind of like women get pregnant sometimes because they see other women's baby bump and the 300, 400 likes and the attention that the other woman got. And they want the attention too. Relevancy is a big thing in people's lives and it's driving folks nuts. But anyway, but the people that replied on that post that I made, it was funny because all of them are divorced. Every single one of them. And there was a lot of people that were just going, oh man, like, dang, I feel attacked. Yeah, you might want to feel attacked because that's why you got married, for the relevancy. And you knew that person was a dog. You knew that person was no good. And you tried to change them. And it didn't work.
That's true. It's not going to work. But I want us to go into the scenario because I think it's something about what you're just talking about right now. Right? Well, it's a little bit of it. Have you read the scenario, Brian?
Yes, I have.
Okay. Yeah, I have.
Okay. So
read CJ's comment.
He just said, damn, man, why you laughing at my tea lady, man?
I told you I wasn't laughing at your tea lady, man. No, I was laughing at that. I was laughing at what you were saying. Talking about, man, you could be my uncle.
Hey, Mika. Hey, Lily. Okay, so let me get into the scenario. So basically, a woman wrote in and she said, my husband and I have been together for 20 years, of that married for 15. Okay. During our relationship, I helped raise my stepdaughter, who was 2 years old, and my stepson, who was 15, when I first met him 20 years ago. So you guys understand me, right?
Mm-hmm.
Also, we have a son together who is about to graduate from high school. And I came into the relationship with my firstborn, who graduated from high school a few years ago. So there's a total of 4 kids. Our youngest 2 boys are the only ones living with us now. I am struggling with having to talk with him about divorcing when he's sober. So he has an alcoholic problem. Okay, he's alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
When he's sober, he brings it up, but only when he's drunk to me, and it's a bluff. He has cheated on me throughout the years. The last time was 2009. I left him for a year, and he promised he would stop drinking, cheating, and he admitted that he's insecure. Because he cheated, he said he's scared I'm going to cheat in return. He sends the kids with me to the store. I can't even go anywhere by myself unless it's the nail salon. He lies over the smallest things. He's controlling, narcissistic, and throws pity parties when he's drunk. Man, the scenario sounds familiar. But anyway, I now suffer from and regret coming back. On one hand, I'm scared to tell him that I want to leave this marriage once our youngest son graduates, but I'm nervous he will not take it well and get drunk and irate. I want to respect him and talk to him. Girl, anyway, I want to respect him and talk to him, but on the other hand, I'm considering just packing and leaving after graduation. But then I think we still have to communicate because of the kids. No, you don't. They're over freaking 17. Anyway, he picks arguments with me over the smallest things and gets very irate. I'm scared of him when he drinks. He comes home from work drunk. It seems hard to talk to him sober. How do I tell him I want to move out and get a divorce? I've lost myself. He's always accusing me of cheating, and I don't cheat, and I don't go anywhere. I work from home, and I stopped hanging out just to have peace at home with no arguments. He talks down to me, talks over me, tells me to shut the F up. I end up locking myself in the bathroom and cry. I don't want no other man. I just want to be alone and to have peace. Wow, that's a lot.
No, it ain't.
Okay, Brian, for you it's not a lot. But some
It is literally the same thing I just said earlier. The mass majority of times that every time I've been on this podcast, we talk about a scenario where a person knew they should not have entered a situation. They tried to change
But
the
this is
person.
different, though. She didn't say she wasn't happy in the beginning, though. Give her a chance now.
But she went back and nothing changed. They split up. She was gone for a year and she went back. It's all her fault.
Oh my
You
God!
can't blame a hot skillet for burning you when it's sitting there doing nothing and you grab it. And now you've got blisters on your hand. You can go, dang, why are you hot? You see it's hot. It's got the damn blue flame under it. It's steaming up. You can't blame lava for being hot if you put your foot on it and it disintegrates your foot. Right?
Y'all, I think Brian has that.
Therapy is something you should not go into, Brian.
You know why? Because people don't want to know the truth. Look, I'd be the worst therapist and I'd be the best therapist. I'd be the worst and best therapist because I'm fixing to tell you.
Yeah,
Okay, so if someone, I've got friends who I've had conversations with friends who were hell bent on staying in a situation that was bad. It was hell for them, right? So once I figured that out, and I said, look, man, I told one of them, I said, look, man, you're coming at me literally every 48 hours with a new piece of BS that she's doing.
Right.
So let's talk about this. You're allowing it because you're staying in. You show people how to treat you. And what you're showing her is that no matter how bad she treats you, you're going to stay. So when you come to me for advice, I'm not gonna. I've already told you to get out. A, I don't want to hear it anymore, man. Like you coming at me with every 48 hours, and it's almost stressing me out. But B, if you stay in it, you have to realize that any pain from now on is your fault because you are putting it on yourself. You know she's not good for you. You've logically worked this out in your brain. Your emotions or fear and not wanting to be by yourself. And this is the only reason why that you're staying in this relationship. You're not working on your self love. So you know from now on, when you come to me, the first thing I'm gonna say is if you want this to continue, then stay. If you don't want to feel this pain and anxiety and depression that you're putting on yourself, then you can just stay. Like, I mean, then you can leave. If you want to get better, leave. If you want the same thing, stay because it's not going to change. So it's this scenario. She's been treating him wrong. You can't be in this whole situation and all of a sudden he starts drinking like at the first time of the at the tail end of the first divorce, or he becomes anxious. He's cheated on her before they got divorced the first time. So it's been bullshit. It's
No,
been trash.
it's not like that though. Let me read some comments. I'm gonna tell you where you're wrong, sir. Lily says, "Child, he hasn't respected her throughout the marriage." Bye, Craig.
I like that.
DJ says she sounds like a light-skinned girl in a Tyler Perry movie. Nika says excuses. Tell that man, sis. You know what? I understand. Leave when that ninja is not at home. It works. Don't go back though. Lily says, I hate that she's staying for the kids. I guarantee they have trauma from the things they have witnessed. That's
Thank you. Thank you.
But I will say this. In my situation, my ex wasn't drinking when we first met. It wasn't like that. It was something that gradually, like it got worse and worse. Well, you know, Kim's been around me for a while.
Yeah.
Gradually got worse. But it wasn't like, now, if I'm honest about it, Brian, I hate to even say this. There are
Yes.
little things, shut up.
There were things in the relationship that were basically catalysts. They were little seeds.
No, because
that
around that, okay? And where I come from, you stay married no matter freaking what. Okay.
I don't remember your first husband being an alcoholic like that when you first were married. Huh?
I only had one husband, Chad.
No, I'm saying, I know, I don't want to name them, so I'm just trying to, Anyway. Okay. I don't remember Nick actually being a drinker at the relationship.
No, he wasn't.
Was he?
No, he never drank. What happened was there was some pros looking at him because he was really good football player. He was actually very, very good. And what happened was that his second knee, because one knee he tore his ACL, and then after that, he was a whole different person. He kept taking that and maybe coaching or whatever. I remember him. Listen to this here. I remember him. Nick was tripping. You don't know who Nick is, sir. What you mean? You weren't even born, sir. Anyway, but it wasn't like that. Now, what happened was I started, actually, I became a Christian. Then I started really working on myself, and I started changing, and he never changed. He stayed like in that rut. And so what happened, we became unequally yoked, and it never came together.
I think that's a big thing. I think that's a big thing in relationships falling apart too. I believe one person in the relationship will tend to, of course, you don't stay the same. There's no way we could stay the same. You're always on a pace of growth. So, but one person will in the relationship. Now, the ones that I have seen that have ended in divorce, one person seems to change. You know, they learn a little bit more about themselves, and then they start to evolve. You know what I'm saying? The other person is like, I don't want to change. I don't want you to change. This ain't gonna work.
And then no, it got worse when I lost weight though. That's when like all shit.
No way.
Him, sister.
Because he became more insecure. His insecurities, of which he'd already shown, got magnified by something you did to yourself to improve. So his controlling, insecure, and all that went viral.
I was in, there was a class called, this church I was at, it was called Foundation Class, and they were teaching you about your rights in Christ, your value. And I said to myself, I don't want to be fat anymore.
Right.
And I was like, if God values me this much, why am I doing this to myself? Like, I am respecting the temple God gave me, so I need to lose weight. And I started, I got pregnant again, then with the last one. And then after I gave birth, I dropped 20 pounds. I got home and I was down to, because I was eating different while I was pregnant, right? Then I turned 40, baby, I cut my hair off. Then you look like a man. You look dykish. You look no, baby. You a hater. And we just
Hater.
continuously grew apart. And then one day I prayed to the Lord. I said, Lord, if it's me, show me me. And I will, whatever I need, I will do. And it never changed. I can honestly say I tried. If I didn't try, I wouldn't sit up here and speak so openly about it. I honestly,
But
And
see,
it's
you keep
not
you
like this. It's not like this growing apart. It's like this. That's the way it
oh,
looks.
yeah.
but odds are it starts like this, and people think it starts like this. No, it doesn't. Because one thing that marriages are missing these days
Mm,
is friendship. The two
Mm.
people who are married
I
aren't
agree.
friends.
You gotta be friends. I
They're
agree.
not friends. People, boyfriend, girlfriend, common denominator, friend, and people skip that friend part and they fall in lust with a person and convince themselves that it's love. And when the lust and when the material and when the superficial all fade away, you ain't got jack left. And then you're looking at a person that you don't even know, that you don't even like because y'all ain't friends.
Mm.
that is
Yeah.
true.
Yes, true. I agree.
That's
You
You
know what
got
I'm saying? Like,
words.
yeah, so that's a lot of it. But see, once again, Robbie, you have to preface everything with in my culture. Yes, in your culture, of which I understand greatly, is you stick with it. It's almost like not just South African culture, but that's Japanese culture. That's Islamic culture.
yeah,
That's other different cultures who are pruned and groomed to be married for life only one time, no matter what happens. Right? I
right.
mean, in African culture, like everybody, I think has everybody on here seen The Woman King?
Yes.
Okay, so
So good.
old girl, her dad was trying to give her away, and she was being defiant. She didn't want to marry a old dude, or be one of the wives of an old dude who beat on her and all this kind of stuff. And that in African culture is a no no, right? You will get outcasted. You will get shame on your family if your daughter doesn't obey the culture of marriage. But
Yeah.
over here, it Americanized. You have a choice.
You
If
sure?
you don't want to be with this person who beat you, you can chunk the deuces. If you don't want to be with this person who cheat on you or who calls you
Out.
out your name or mentally
Out.
abuses you, you can chunk the deuces. The problem
Out.
is all that stuff happens prior to the marriage, and then they get married anyway, trying to change the person, and then they say BS like all the ups and downs of marriage. I don't give a damn what nobody say. Cheating ain't gonna be in the ups and downs of marriage of mine,
I hear you.
or somebody mentally trying to mentally abuse me, or trying to talk down on me, or trying to test me in bull crap ways. That ain't gonna be the ups and downs of mine. So y'all can keep all that bull crap and all those cliches
So,
that our grandparents used 50 million years ago.
so
Man, forget
Brian,
all that.
so
Yeah.
Brian, what's one thing like because you are not married? What is the one thing that you will like? I'll overlook that.
Yeah. What is it?
I overlook that. I can overlook that.
Okay,
What would that be?
so
And what's the one thing you cannot overlook? Like, like I want children. I'm not overlooking that. You know what I'm
yes,
saying?
I'm not. Yeah, I'm not overlooking the. I want children. I'm not overlooking that. So if she can't have kids, then I can't. I'm not going to get married to her. Or she
Okay.
doesn't want kids. I'm not going to. I'm
You right.
if there's infidelity prior to a marriage, I'm not even going to get to the marriage. If if someone is okay, so let's just say something I will work over. Let's just say I'm dating a woman and she is healing. She's not healed from a situation. She's healing from a situation of anxiety. Let's just say the past couple of men that she's been dating or in a relationship have given her anxiety, or contributed to the anxiety that she has by always lying about their whereabouts, by always saying that they're with their homeboys, but they're actually cheating, or saying, "Hey, I'm at home," but they're actually somewhere else with another female or whatever. So although she may not automatically say that I'm lighting a fire. If we talk about it, and I know this is an anxiety of hers, if I tell her that I'm going to be at a spot, I'm going to try to help her through that anxiety as she helps herself. If she's not trying to help herself, then there's nothing I can do. It is not my job to heal you. I can hold your hand while you're healing yourself and I can high five you and try to do what I can on my end without overexerting myself. But I can't heal you. So if she's working on herself while I'm just doing me, so I'm a person that if I tell you where I'm at, that's where I'm at. So there's no reason to assume I'm somewhere else. But if she has told me about what she's working on and she's not blaming me, but of course, she's telling me about her anxieties and, I tell her where she's at. She's like, okay, cool. You know what I'm saying? Just have a good time or whatever. But I know that she's got a little anxiety about it. If she's working on herself, as I'm, being me and being truthful about my whereabouts and things like that, and what she's not accustomed to, then I can work with something like that as long as they're working on themselves. But if they are stuck in their trauma, if they are stuck in the past and they're not trying to get over it and heal, then I can't deal with stuff like that because we're all effed up somewhere. I am too, but I'm trying to work on those things.
So that's the one thing that you'll overlook. That's their past trauma. As long as they're working on, that's the one thing you will overlook.
Okay.
Well, I mean, there's some things. There's more things that I will overlook, but I can't name them all. But just if you're working on yourself, I understand that people are flawed. I am flawed. So in the same way that I would want someone to give me grace while I'm working on myself, I am going to give someone grace while they're working on themselves.
So how long is this grace rope? And I agree with you to a point. Okay. Because after a while, if somebody is feels okay, I gotta tell you every time where I'm at because maybe you've been cheated on in the past. That's healthy because I've seen that happen before.
True.
Previously, a guy had cheated. The guy that she's with was cheated on. We got out to eat. She's FaceTiming him. The restaurant we went to, when we went to get cookies, that was too damn much.
I'm not fixing to do that. I'm not fixing to do all that. I'm not fixing to become a slave to your imagination because that's the one thing I can't beat. What'd you say?
It has to be balanced then.
Yeah, it has to. That's where the healing comes in. If you're not healing yourself, you're not creating a balance on the scale. That means you're way up here on the unhealed button, and I'm putting all the work in, so it's unbalancing the scale. And once again, the only thing that you can't beat in someone else's with someone else is their imagination. Because if I tell you that I've gone bowling to practice bowling by myself, and you want to imagine that Paula Patton is there and Sanaa Lathan is there, and I'm screwing them both in the bathroom, there's nothing I can do.
Why couldn't you take it while you practice?
No, why do I need? I'm not going. I have been before with a female who has tried to make me a slave to her man. And if you teach people how to treat you, right? I'm only going to go so far with this healing thing. And you said, how long does it take? Mm-hmm. How long does it take? I'll tell you. Here's a good sign. A relationship should be a secure place of peace for both people.
Right.
It should not be a war zone, right? We war enough outside of the relationship. We war at work. Sometimes we war with our friends. Sometimes we war with family. We war enough outside of the relationship. So when the relationship or the marriage is happening, it should be a comforting place of peace where vulnerability is vaulted, where if you're having a bad day, you can know that you can tell this person and you can release and there's nothing wrong. So where the time frame comes in, if you are progressing, you're not causing the other person any unnecessary stress inside the relationship, trying to accommodate to some stuff that you say you're healed from or healing from. So if the mistakes that I made as a bowler 2 months ago are not the mistakes that I'm making now because I'm practicing. I am getting better. Go. What'd you say?
I said I saw your reels, but I need to read some comments.
Yeah, I'm crunk too. I bowled 250 like it ain't nothing.
Lily says you have to be friends. I agree. And then she says, great points. CJ says, Brian, you called it. Lily says, talk about it, Brian.
Talk about it, Lisa.
You're talking about. CJ says, Brian, have you been married before? I'm not trying to be nosy.
I have not. I have not.
My auntie. I mean, he's advocating, honey.
Yeah, he advocating.
Yes, he does. He got you. He's like, you can be married in a year's time, Brian. So he's anti. Um, so I get what you're saying, Brian, and I'm really just teasing you.
Yeah, I know.
It's simply black and white, really, when it comes to certain things. I
It
agree.
is.
Because in hindsight, looking back now, like but 4 years have passed now, I can see where I fell short. And the things that I'm doing now, moving forward, even with dating, I can teach my girls there's certain things you don't have to deal with. You don't have to, and I would, because Layla asked me, Mom, what would you say if I met somebody who wants to get married while I'm in college? And my insides dropped because I understand.
Right.
I married young and I did not know myself. I didn't know what I liked, what I didn't like. In fact, even until recently, like until I started seeing another therapist, I realized that with the mother wounds that I had, if I had not dealt with that piece of it, I'm not going to be at my best for my husband if I
Right.
don't. But because I've already done all the work, it's not going to take years for me, which I thank God for that, because I have awareness of it. This lady in the scenario, right? She's put 20 years in, and it's a long time.
Ooh, that's a long time.
Man, you'll age in reverse. I'm sorry, you'll get finer as
Right?
it
We
is.
have
And
the
Not Angela Bassett. Not Angela Bassett.
that's,
She looks like she's 30.
Angela Bassett got a trainer. She got a personal trainer, baby.
but it doesn't matter, whatever. But the majority of men age in reverse. They do. Okay. So as a woman, she must be thinking, oh my God, I got to start over. Okay. But at the same time, she does say in the scenario, she's not looking for a man. She just wants peace.
Right. She didn't say it. She said she wasn't looking for one.
She was looking for anybody. She says, I want peace. And let me tell you, peace, if you, man, that is the most expensive thing. If you don't have peace, you ain't good. Okay.
You ain't got nothing. You can't. I don't see how people live in because I've actually been in a relationship where I was in that situation of anxiety and wondering and walking on the eggshells,
Why?
and it was the most horrific thing ever. And I wasn't in it before, and I'll never be in it again. And people, once again, it's not love that keep people in BS relationships. People use love as an scapegoat because I can prove to anybody listening to this podcast that love is intelligent. And the first thing that love is intelligent about is yourself, right? Because here's one thing without even going too deep into the psychological part of love. The time that people make the most sense about if they should or should not be in a marriage or a relationship is when they're mad. You know why? Because when you're mad, your logic triggers really, really high, right? That emotion of anger puts everything on the table in a clear way, right? And they go, well, he cheated on me and he abused me and I found 3 phone numbers in his pocket and I found 2 condom wrappers and we ain't had protected sex in 10 years and he drinks all the time and he does this and he does that and he does this. When you're mad, you lay it all on the line logically because what's happening is your love for yourself is going, this is why we should leave. And then when you calm down, and then the other BS emotions of fear and a whole bunch of other stuff that we talked about on this podcast come in. What happens is if she's afraid to be alone, that kicks her love for herself right in the nuts, especially if you haven't practiced self-love. And if you haven't practiced self-love, you don't have any, right? So it's easy for fear to kick a low level amount of self-love right in the nuts. And then that fear conquers everything and you stay.
But hold on, Brian. Have you heard of the term limerence? So love and limerence, where people think they are in love, but it's actually limerence. Have you ever heard of that? So I was watching this video.
I mean, I throw the other branch out there, love and lust. Like lust of the flesh, lust of the eyes, lust of material, superficial.
Robbie, what's that? Love and limerence.
Different concepts I've ever thought about. So basically, if you're in a relationship and you think you're in love, but maybe the person gives you anxiety, but you're like, I love him. No, that's not love.
It's not. It's not at all. People use love as an scapegoat. All the well, I love him. Well, love is blind. Bullshit. Love is smart as hell.
Oh, when I watched that video, I was like, oh my God. I had to, when I take out a piece of paper and I start doing checklists, that shit is serious. Okay. So I had to write out, like seriously, about where I was, what I felt
Mm-hmm.
a particular person. Was it really
Mm-hmm.
good? Was it love or was
Mm-hmm.
it this
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even know. I didn't even know this word even existed, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Till I watched that video and I was like, oh God.
I mean,
You know what I used to
I
do?
think if you could ask yourself a couple of questions when you are in love or you've met the person, that you can ask yourself, does this person bring me up? Does this person bring me down?
One of
If
the
at
things
any point when you say, no, you know what, this person doesn't always lift me up. This person doesn't always make me feel good. This
that's
person
like,
actually makes me feel bad about myself.
but
That's a red flag to me.
another thing that as women, sometimes we subconsciously you dim yourself because you don't want your man to feel a certain way. He may not be as maybe as smart as you, but you love him and you don't want him to feel a certain way, so you dim your
Yeah,
light.
that's true.
Shade
But
of
you know what,
light.
y'all also stay in situations because you don't want because ending a situation would y'all translate as you failed, right? Especially when you are building this whole situation up in relevancy to all the people watching
I am
as
not
if
doing
this is
that.
a good marriage, right? So if it fails or if it ends because of whatever reason, valid or not, then you think that it's failed. So you're staying in it to work. Or there are a lot of people out there, men and women, or that are staying in relationships because they want to try to prove to other people that they're right. Even though that everybody knows that they've been cheated on, they've got outside kids, they're being abusive, they're like, nah, my man is good. So once you say a certain thing like that, or my wife is awesome, once you say that, you are trying to prove to other people that you are right. The propensity to be right in human beings will drive people mad and crazy. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. And people stay in marriages with no good evil people because they told someone else that this person was great or this person was awesome and they're like, "Well, I got to prove them. I got to prove myself right so they won't think I'm wrong." It's crazy why people get married. And even in this situation, once again, no matter what happened prior to the first divorce, because the first divorce obviously was warranted. She was being treated wrong, or we don't know what she did, but she went back. So
Well,
I
no,
have no sympathy for
well,
her
No,
going
I
back.
don't know what it's like to live with
she
an
didn't know
alcoholic.
he
I could
divorced
imagine.
before. This is the only marriage she's been in. She said she left after he cheated, but then she came
Right.
back.
And then she can't, but that's what I'm saying. She left for a year and she came back.
Yeah.
So the majority of people who talk about healing don't go to counseling. The majority of people who
How
talk
many
about
people
healing,
don't? But I know this scenario is like this, Brian, and I know it's like that. But there are a lot of people who have left a marriage and came back, and it's better.
minimum, few and far between.
Girl, how many people
Few and far between. Because guess what? I bet you money that if this scenario was real and you probably know someone who got cheated on, went back, and then the other person used the F for free card and cheated on them and got their lick back. Some stuff like that. I'm telling you, you probably know of somebody like that
yes.
because that's what happens. That's what humans beings do because there's no healing in the process. Like I said, the majority of people who talk about healing don't go to counseling. The majority of people who talk about healing don't practice healing measures. You have to go out and self love yourself. You have to do self
I
care
was
activities.
I was talking to a couple the other day, and they were
Hmm.
divorced for 3 years, and they just got back
Hmm.
together, and it's better than ever. Their
Okay,
marriage is
that's fine.
completely
That
different.
that is a that is an anomaly. But I bet you know more people who, when they got back together, it was more crap, or someone got their F for free card, or someone got their lick back, and it was just BS. You know more people in that situation than you know about the anomaly of someone leaving
Nope.
and it
I knew a
coming
couple.
back and getting better.
Nope. I knew a couple of them.
Well, you once again, you have friends and you live in a
I just
world
know people
that
who have made it
smallly
work.
exists. Yeah, and but you can't. But what you're doing is you're taking these small two or three people and trying to apply it to the optimism of this world, and that ain't the case. This world is the opposite of what you're thinking it is, and I'm telling you that right now. You're going, oh, I want to be so optimistic, and yada 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 yada. That ain't this world. And these people out here are doing some BS to each other. And that's why we keep reading these scenarios because they happen way more than the optimistic world. And I'm very optimistic too, so don't get me wrong. But it happens more than the optimistic world that you're thinking. It's the opposite of what you think it is. That's why it's so hard to get to marriage. That's why the marriages happen in divorce so much because of people, and human beings are human beings. When people start peopling, shit start messing up.
Are you okay with, and you too, Rabia, are you guys okay with not ever getting married again? Or Brian, in your case, ever getting married, Rabia again?
No, I'm really not okay with that. I would want to be married. Like
Oh,
I'm a husband type dude. You know what I'm saying?
okay.
Like right now, if I was married, y'all would probably see me with a water gun and go, hold on, I'll be right back. And I'm gonna blast my wife, or she may like the type of wife that I'm looking for. She's like spontaneously playful. She may try to blast me with a water gun right now or a Nerf gun, and y'all be like, poof. And I'd be like, oh, I'm gonna get you. I'm like, wait till I get out. You're like, those moments are cool. And the challenges that happen. So when people talk about challenges in a marriage, I relate it to their job. Are you going to have challenges on your job? Yes, you are. But how much have you practiced your job to a point where you're such an expert at your job that is always evolving because you can't control the changes because you're not the CEO? When problems happen on your job, how well do you handle them? Do they crash everything that you're doing? Do you go into panic mode and do you stop everything that you're doing for 2 weeks? Hell no. You handle that problem like a G and you move on. And if you don't handle it like a G, you handle it well enough to where you get over it, right?
Right.
That's what happens in marriages. Marriages are not designed. God does not pair you with somebody for that other person to bring you hell all day long. If that was God, then I don't believe in a God like that. I don't believe God marries two people together, and we're on a Christian podcast, so that's what we're talking about. I don't believe God pairs two people together so that one or both of them can bring them hell all the time. That's not a good God, in my opinion.
That's not a
So
good
it's either one,
marriage.
right? It's not a good marriage. So it's either one or two things. Either I'm right about the way God brings people together, or people pick somebody and then try to make God co-sign for the bull crap.
That's what we do. That's what we do. We do. We
You
want to say
do.
God's in it, and God was never in it. Or God
God was never in it. This is
married there. But
ex- exactly. Oh, this dude cheated on me all through my relationship, and or this woman cheated on me all through my relationship, and I want to get married. God changed them. God sent the person I gave you common sense. She could have been gone a long time ago. Like people really want God to change common sense stuff, and that trips me out. They bring God into their bull crap and go, God, fix it. And God's like, I done gave you plenty of signs. I have given you common sense. Won't you use it? That's why I ain't stepped in because you need to be changing. You need to change this yourself because it's common sense to change it.
Jesus, Brian is preaching. Kim said, not Kim, Mika said Brian's preaching today. He is. This is some good stuff. Um, Keisha says, good evening, beautiful people. I'm so alive. Hey, Keisha, girl.
What's up, Keisha? What's up, Keisha?
We miss you.
Yeah, she hasn't been here all day. I mean, all afternoon. Do I want to get married again? Yes. But right now, no.
Yeah, you cussing out random people at 7-Eleven.
No, that's not why. Honestly, no,
I'm just messing with you. I'm just messing with you. Don't get crunk. You see how fast you got crunk?
but no, okay, if you asked me this question 2 months ago, I would have said, yes, I'm ready. Yes. Emphatically, yes. I would say, yes, I was ready. I thought I was until I started talking to a man called Dr. Rod. And I realized, oh, honey, baby cakes. No.
Not ready.
I am a wife. And it's not because I'm African, Brian. I am a wife. And so, yeah, I want to get married. And I want a fun relationship. I want somebody that I can go hiking with. I can say, hey, you want to go hiking? And we'll go hiking or something, physical stuff. I want somebody that's active like I'm active. Somebody that's young that looks young like me. Somebody that doesn't age like milk. Okay? Curdled milk. Because girl, some little girl tried to come at me today. I had to break her all the way down. Bye, sweetheart. You look like you've been ran through. But anyway,
But you know what? I'm also prepared to meet someone who's got some similarities to me, but that has differences from me that I can see where they come from, who they are, how they've been taught to love, how they've learned to love, and their differences from me aren't detrimental, right?
mm,
Like if I meet a woman who says that she's a Satanist, okay, that's a detrimental difference, right? Yeah, that's a detrimental difference. But if she says she's on a spiritual journey that is not connected to any denominations or something like that, okay, well let's talk about it. I want to know where you're coming from because I'm not too much of a. Let's just say she's a surfer. She loves going surfing. I've never surfed, right? And that's not my thing. But maybe she can teach me something about surfing that can help me in other aspects of life, not just because of the fundamental balance that you have. Maybe that can help me in the gym. Maybe that help me in bowling. Maybe that can just help me. I never know. You never know. The water may be a stress reliever for me. I don't know, but what I am is open to learning from someone on differences that they may have for me. But a lot of times people want to be like, they me. People are so caught up in the similarities of what they like to do. You like to go to movies, I like to go to movies. You like to do this, I like to do that. And then if there's a difference, well, you like apples and I don't like, and I like oranges. Ugh, you trash. And now you're telling someone that they don't like something. They're like, well, you don't like that, you trash too. And then there's a big conflict.
but I want to address something that Keisha's saying. She said, I don't ever want to get married again. God has to tell me that's the one before I even make a move. You know what I've learned in this season right now, Keisha? Is this. As Christian woman, we say, okay, we're gonna wait for the Lord to tell us. Um, your doorbell, baby, is not gonna ring. You have to get out there. You gotta date the trash. You gotta date everything, and you'll figure out. Okay, God is not a God, a passive God. If the man is wrong for you, you will know, and you get to decide if you're gonna leave. Because I'm so sick of hearing about Christian women telling other women, "Oh, wait on the Lord." You wait on the Lord, baby, you'll be a spinster. Okay,
I know.
you gotta
I'm in
move,
agreement, Rabia.
move. Faith is movement, not sitting there waiting for your doorbell to ring. Like you think God's saying, "Oh, go and ring 2216 Austin Drive. That's where this woman stays. Go ring her door." It's not happening. You will be a spinster. You got to get up and move. You're gonna
Or I hate to hear women say, "I'm waiting for him to walk in the church." I'm
and
like,
walking. Oh God, the church is a hospital. I don't want to meet him in church.
I don't.
No. I no. I want anyway. Mika says big ups to you for your healing grace. Girl, I feel shit. I feel good. But anyway, Keisha says, of course, I've dated or heard them speak because if they say strawberry, I'm out of there. Girl, shut up. She said, Lily says, yeah, you better slide in those DMs. Girl, I ain't sliding in no DMs, but I tell you what,
You need to slide in some DMs, make a first move, and that's a part of the activeness that you're talking about.
I ain't making no move. I'm not.
Oh yeah, oh well.
But
But and that's because of reasons we've already talked about. We ain't gonna go there. But it's easy not to make a move if you're the one that's already always receiving the end. But once again, Alicia said, see, that may be a sign from God where you need to go make a move on somebody. And you're going, nope, nope, that's not. And God was like, oh, I gave you some common sense. I gave you common sense. You can make a move just like you can be made a move on. Thank you, Alicia. Thank you. Yeah, you better slide in them DMs, Rabia.
this woman got
Yes,
lunch.
women
Thank
got
you. See,
I agree. They do.
Miss Viles is throwing it in now. So you talked about God a while ago. God ain't passive. That means He didn't make you passive either. So ha. You lost that battle. Me and Alicia and Kim triple teamed you on that one.
I'm not there yet. And maybe
Well,
but at this moment, I'm not there. I'm
yeah.
not asking no man out.
Oh well. Oh well. Stay single then.
I won't stay single. They come to me, honey. Okay.
Oh yeah. Oh, you see that setup? You see that setup I just did on the proof of why you don't go out and say nothing? Oh, they come to me, honey. You see that ego come out? All they got to do is post a picture, and they come to me, honey.
Anyway, Keisha says I made the first move, and a dude liked ignored me.
Oh
Keep,
well, welcome to the club. Welcome to the club. Men make moves all the time, and women ignore dudes all the time. So who cares? But welcome to the club. I don't want to hear that.
CJ says,
You
Rizz up, Rabia. I ain't getting no Rizz up because my Rizzle's already up, okay?
whatever. It ain't up high enough for you to go make a move.
Whatever, that's my business.
Whatever. You put your business out here on this podcast.
Well, you and CJ are both younger than me, so you'll need to respect your elders.
Whatever.
Y'all
You're only younger than me. You're only older than me, like by a few years,
Anyway, so
and I look younger.
y'all funny. Y'all crazy.
I'm so tickled. Okay. CJ says, laughing my ass off, you're funny. No, because he's talking trash. I know what he's got that red cup that you have, CJ. Where's the red cup? Where's the red cup?
CJ, you got to come on the show again.
There you do. Keisha says, Brian, you hush. You probably ignored several women.
And I've been ignored too. So welcome to the club again.
Who are you ignoring, boy?
Welcome to. I've been ignored more times than not. So yeah, welcome to the club again.
Maybe it's because you don't speak up. I don't
And
know.
Brian, you said you didn't have game, so
No, I didn't say I had game. I've got game. I said I wasn't a player for long.
Okay.
My player window was small. Now my game is strong. My game is super strong.
Okay.
He said he wasn't a hoe for a very long period of time. It was for this amount of time.
Yes, but he got game. He got game.
Yeah, no, my game is pretty strong.
She got game. He got game.
It's almost Jordan level game.
But so advice, last thoughts, final thoughts. Leave his ass. That's my final thought.
Leave
because I mean, honestly, like looking back, it's not that bad, y'all. Like it's not that bad. I wasn't like sad that I left. I was sad for the kids, but the kids, they just like bounced back. They said, Mama, we thought you were gonna leave. Dad, when we were in middle school, I'm like, what? I stayed for you.
Leave again. I'll tell her that. Leave again.
I mean,
Leave
CJ
again.
said, how many people you done ignored, Rabia?
Thank you, CJ. Thank you, CJ.
No, it's how you approach me. It's how you approach me. And I'm not saying what it is, because something I learned on this podcast I was listening to, when a man asks you, what are you looking for? Don't ever tell him. That's what she said. So.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's normal strategy because they try to morph into the person that they think that you want instead of trying to be themselves, which that means you're an avatar, which means that your real self will sooner or later come out and it's not going to be good. But anyway.
That's too much. Okay, Brian, what is your final thoughts? We know what you think.
Yeah, she should have been gone. But here's one thing I did want to say about the scenario. She's trying to find the quote unquote honorable way to end it. And I'm telling you, there is no honorable way to end it. Like if someone's out there listening to this podcast and they're like, well, I want closure and I want to talk to them and I want to sit down. No, you don't need to do none of that, because guess what? If she thinks that just by leaving that he's going to cause trauma, then her sitting down and being honorable about the situation and trying closure that way, if she's thinking that he's not going to cause trauma after that, she's fooling herself. So whichever approach that she does, he's going to cause trauma afterwards. So what she just needs to do is she needs to do the safest approach, which is get out of there without him knowing. And her just going about her business. She don't need no closure from him. All she needs to do is serve another divorce letter or go to that attorney and burn out, because if she tries to talk to him, it ain't gonna be good.
No, and you're right though, because I lived without him knowing. But see, the thing with her though, her kids are older.
Yeah.
Her kid, I had like young kids. I had a kid like one under 10, or one under 8. So at some point, the kids had to go back to him.
Yeah.
We didn't have nothing was in place yet, right? But I never went back to the house until we got divorced, and then I moved back into the house. And even the day I moved back into the house, he did not want to leave. I had to almost call the police. Like he threw a tantrum, but then I changed all the locks and everything off these. He couldn't just come back.
Yeah.
So
You know,
leave, baby.
basically, leave with
Pack your
nothing.
stuff.
Brian Lily says,
While he at work, leave.
yeah, and you have to do that. Keisha says a lot of these jokers are a waste of time and space.
What did you say? What did you say? Alicia said.
What's your Facebook?
Oh, you can probably find. I mean, I've got a very common name, so I'm friends with Rabia on Facebook. So if you're friends with her, then you can find me on her page.
Jones. What's your middle name, Brian?
I didn't say it. See, look at that deception you tried to throw out there. You see that? You see that? Boy, that was deceitful. That's why you single. That's why you single. You tried to be deceptive just then. That's why you single. That is not of God.
Oh my goodness.
That is what.
To be single, sweetheart.
That is not of God.
I choose to be single.
Oh yeah, you sure do, because you got because guess what? They are in my DMs. I just have not chose one yet.
Yes. This is correct, sir. You are correct. But anyway, no, they don't want me right now. Anyway, let me get about 6 more months with Dr. Rod, and I'll be straight. Then I'll be
okay. Okay.
Anyway, so guys, I want to thank you guys for watching, and we will see you next week. And Brian, will you join us? Not the next week, the following week. Are you going to join?
I don't know. You're just gonna have to catch me. I don't know.
Have you again because we love
But
you.
I do want to say happy Thanksgiving to everyone. Y'all have a great Thanksgiving.
Oh no, I'm gonna read this.
Huh?
You too.
I'm gonna read this. CJ says Brian got the African accent down. No, he does. Don't tell him.
Yes, I do. Because I'm part South African on the cool.
No,
I've been a Zulu. I've been a Zulu ever since 1986.
Brian, it's not in your DNA, sir. Okay.
You're a fake Zulu. I'm a real one. I know the history better than you.
Bye, y'all. We'll talk.
Bye.
Next week.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Bye.